Hey folks, just a heads up that this episode was recorded a few days prior to the release of The Power of the Doctor full trailer, so we do reference of the marketing issues and stuff like that in this episode without knowing that there's a trailer around the corner. You can hear my thoughts and a full shot-by-shot breakdown of the trailer on the 50% Doctor Who Podcast YouTube channel, so make sure you go over there and check that out. We look shot-by-shot at everything. A little bit drunk because it came out on a Saturday night, so it was a late night video. I stayed up all night making it, so go check that out if you want to see some juicy bits of goss. Juicy goss. Other than that, enjoy the show.
50% podcast.
Connor, today, actually, a trip to the shops to pick up a Target novel. You know, I need a new book, so I was like, I'm gonna see what Target novels they've got at the local QBD books.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Went in there. Actually, it wasn't my local, but it was a different shop. And on the way, I saw a little magazine shop, and I went, "What's the chances?
You tried your luck.
Why not? Let's have a roll of the dice, a final roll of the dice." Both of the issues of Doctor Who magazines, which are very hard to get in Australia because Australia,
you've been looking for them for a while, haven't you?
A long time.
Innit?
And everyone's going to be like, those are months old. Why do you care that Ncuti Gat was the Doctor and that David and Catherine are back? But these are big moments in Doctor Who history, and I want my copy of them. So now I can read...
You need that physical
media.
Physical media.
Now I can read everything I've already read online, but in my hand.
I'm glad you support it, and I'm glad you care. And you have been rallying on Twitter for a while about trying to find these issues.
You're like, finally,
so found them,
finally he can shut up about it. Is that what you're trying to say?
I was happy. I didn't need you to shut up. I was happy about it. I was like, my boy's finally gone and done it.
It's finally gone and done it.
And Crispy, of all people.
Crispy found one as well.
He found one as well. So, you know.
Well, another day, at least as of today, another day, another not centenary trailer.
Well, what day is it today? It's the 6th of October.
We're currently, from the air date, which hasn't been officially confirmed, but is like, from the schedules, it has been confirmed. We are 17 days away from this episode coming out, from The Power of the Doctor coming out, and still, we have nothing. Well, not nothing. Obviously, we've got the magazine, we have the original trailer, but in terms of like a marketing push, we have nothing.
Have any other shows started their centenary marketing as well? Like, I'm sure
no, I don't think so.
EastEnders are doing a special and shit.
Yeah.
So it's just more like a BBC thing holding back on the old marketing?
Probably. But look, I don't want to start the show on such a negative, but
yeah.
I have gotten to a point. I've been quiet, and I've been on the record on this podcast many times sort of saying, where's the marketing? But also being like, I'm not a marketing expert. I'm not going to dive too deep into this. But also I've been like, you know, it is the modern fashion to market your shows later and do a big push like a month before. 17 days out, probably 2 weeks out is when they're going to start pushing this thing. I don't think that's good enough. And I also was having a long thought when I was doing the show notes today. I was like, all right, I'm going to have a bit of a rant here, a bit of a spew about this marketing. And I was like, oh, do I want to? Because I feel like there's a stigma to having a feisty opinion in the community. Sometimes you come off like the bad guy, and it's like, no, like we do this. You know, I don't want to put this in like, I'm going to put this in wanky quotation marks, but it's a form of journalism, and all forms of journalism, you take a stance, right? And my stance is that it's not good enough, and I'm putting my foot down on that now. You know, 17 days out, we've seen hardly anything. We don't need to see a lot, but I was talking to a friend 2 days ago. And I mentioned the centenary, and they were like, what are you talking about? I thought the next episode was the 60th.
Right.
And I was like, yeah, people don't actually know that this episode is coming up. And that is a fundamental problem. What's your take, Connor?
Well, at this rate, you know how people don't watch trailers sometimes? Like, sometimes I'll go see a movie and not watch trailers. If we weren't right on a Doctor Who podcast,
yeah, I was going to say,
I'd probably be like, yeah, well, why do I even watch this? I've waited this long, and you can get a good surprise for some stuff. Yeah, man, it kind of sucks, to be honest. I'm still very excited for it, but I just think that, like, you know, it would really help me get more hype for it. You're right about we are in a category of people who know the centenary is coming out, and we're excited to see a trailer because we're excited for the episode. But you're right, marketing works both ways. It also works for people who don't keep up with the show that much and
in fact, that's
don't
what
know it's coming out.
marketing is more aimed at the general public than it is us.
Exactly.
So
right.
it's like the people don't know this
That's
episode's
its
coming
job,
out, and that's problematic. And I think I've heard we're getting a new marketing team in Russell's era, and I can't wait because, I'm gonna just say it. Marketing's been trash, and it's just got them. It started off strong at the beginning of the era, and I think they did leave it kind of late, but still, it was good, and they did a big push. But this is just bad.
I'm sure it's gonna be a really good trailer because they made Legend of the Sea Devils look great.
They did.
That trailer was awesome.
Yes,
and I think they're gonna come out with a banging trailer where there's gonna be a lot to talk about. But it's a bit, what's that saying? Too much, too late.
Too little, too late.
Too little, too late. You know, we're gonna be speculating about shit a couple of days before it comes out.
Yeah.
When at this rate, because we've waited so long, I could take it or leave it. As much as I want a trailer, and I will have to watch it for the show. If I had a choice and I wasn't doing the show, I probably wouldn't even end up watching it because you've waited this long. Mm-hmm. What's the point per se? But It's a shame. It's a shame. It really is. You know what you just said pretty much, hits the nail on the head. It's upsetting to be a fan, and with Chibnall and Jodie's last outing.
I know.
It's getting no love.
I'm literally
nothing.
I'm rewatching Fox at the moment just to hype myself up for it because I'm like, I know I liked Fox when I watched it, so I'll go in and rewatch it and get myself hyped because I'm not hyped from what they're doing. That being said, shortly we are going to get into some SFX interviews, an SFX interview with Janet Fielding or Fielding, I never know how to say that one, and the Queen, Ace.
Correct. The real queen,
Sophie Aldred. They got a little bit of interview there. We've also got to talk about PCAP and what he has to say about the 60th anniversary. We're also hearing hints of Series 15.
Hey.
What?
And
Series
Russell
15?
may be writing it.
That's crazy.
Hey.
And then we're going to get into our review of The Husbands of River Song. What a show we have on our hands today, Connor.
What a bang episode. We were supposed to have Dylan on.
Oh, we should say that they were meant to join us today.
They could make it.
Which
is a shame because, I think for the longest time, they've said they wanted to do this episode.
Yeah.
And it felt like fate. And somehow you texted me an hour ago saying they couldn't make it, and I was like,
yeah.
Shit.
Which happens, and
it does happen.
All that kind of thing is understandable, and we've all been there.
Yeah, we'll have them on obviously again in season 10 at some point.
Yeah. Yeah,
we can make up for lost time.
Season 10, man. Where? Speaking of time, where has the time
Seeing
gone?
those old episodes getting uploaded to the channel makes me I won't listen to it, but I'll go to a random point and maybe listen to 2 minutes, and
listen to how bad the audio is.
The audio is bad. There's that every time we ask each other a question, there's that a second, 2 second delay for the Zoom lag.
Yes, because we did them over Zoom.
Yeah, it's pretty. It's not even that. People seem to be digging it, and I'm like, please just maybe. I'm glad you're supporting this, but maybe look at what the show is like now. I kind of hate for someone to that be their first video and think this is what we're.
What a trash channel. Well, that's why I always make sure I'm putting a little disclaimer at the start and trying to make it very obvious.
I'm glad.
I'm yelling down the camera. This is not a new episode of the podcast.
I tell you what, I know it's going to take a lot of time, or maybe even not. But I think it's pretty funny to see you at the beginning of every video being hello,
listen to me.
50%ers. I kind of like this week. I kind of like that 50%ers.
Yeah.
For the fans.
Yeah. It's a bit like
the 50%ies.
50%.
That's our war show. But the 50%ers. Become a 50% today. We're close to 200 subs.
Subscribe. Let's get to 200 by October 31st.
Let's do it. Day, Aiden.
A spooky day for a spooky number, and then there's no stopping us, mate. 500 by the end of the year. Let's go.
Man's pushing it a bit, but I'm intrigued.
What do we say about challenges?
If you don't shoot, you might not score.
Okay.
Is that a
yes? I'll take it. That's a good.
I'll take it.
That's a good answer.
That's our goal.
You can see them old episodes of the podcast as well as the new episodes where you can see our lovely faces and some cut down versions of the podcast in the clips over on the 50% Doctor Who podcast YouTube channel. And you can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram where we like to chat. We love lots of chats over on the socials.
Oh, we've been having so much fun recently.
The
on
50
socials.
Doctor socials. Yeah, it's been great. Yeah,
it's been great.
Talking to Josh and Crispy on there quite a lot has been fun.
We're bantering hard. There's a lot of banter going on.
The Aussie YouTuber war is in full flight
Sometimes
right
I get
now.
a little bit worried because I know how sensitive Doctor Who fans are. And I made a joke today about I misquoted Josh. I don't know, they took it great, and I knew they would. And
Yeah.
I'm like, surely no one gets offended by this. Like, I'm clearly joking.
I don't think anyone would.
And
I think you're overthinking it.
Please, man, you know they would.
Yeah, well, not...
They
Yeah.
would.
Yeah.
There's so much shit going on YouTube.
But not
Twitter
Josh
right now.
and Crispy.
No, that's what I'm saying. I knew they wouldn't get annoyed or
Right.
upset. I'm saying people reading
Other
into
people
it.
within the community.
Yeah, reading into it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
right.
what I'm referring to. Not
Yeah.
Josh and Crispy. We have good banter, you know.
I don't think people care.
I think they do.
Maybe.
I think we don't give ourselves enough credit. I think people care what we say.
This is me
I
giving
mean,
you
look,
some credit.
I wouldn't be here if no one cared about my opinion.
Well,
I'm just going to be honest with you.
we care about our opinions. So.
Yeah, a little bit too much sometimes. But can I just put on the record, by the way?
Yes.
I was joking in that episode where I said that you're not a fan of Doctor Who if you're not a classic fan. And by the way, if you got pissed off by that, I'm glad. Fuck you.
Husbands of River Song is a Christmas episode, so we're having our Christmas sting today. Woo!
It's kind of when we do episodes of Christmas ones and they're like mid-June or March, it feels really weird. But we're kind of close to Christmas.
We're gearing up for the holidays.
It's kind of
It's a shame because when we get to Christmas, we're not going to be doing a Christmas special, which is unfortunate. Unless we do like 8 weeks of filler episodes before we get to Mysterio.
oh fuck yeah, Jesus. Well, we have some stuff, but I don't think 8 weeks worth of
No. So after this
8
week,
weeks of stalling.
after this week, we're going to be doing some spicy episodes, and we talked a little bit about that last week, but we'll give you a heads up at the end of this week's episode as to what to expect from the show.
All you know is
over the next month.
It's absolute banger of a month.
It's shit.
It's
a shit
you
month.
think so?
Yeah,
it's not been filmed
horrific.
yet.
I already know they're bad episodes.
What? Children of Earth and
No, of our
Boss?
podcast.
Oh, okay. Wow, you're really selling it to the audience.
Yeah, well, look, subscribe. We want 200
at
subs,
least, look,
please.
at least he's honest. He could say it's great.
Power of the Doctor, SFX, has been chatted to everyone's favourite, Sophie Aldred and Janet Fielding, one of the above.
One of those, yeah.
I'm not going to read out the full article here because I do have some stuff to read about other stuff coming up. But the big takeaway is it was a 6-week shoot, which leads you to think that they're not just tiny cameos. They do actually have a decent role in the episode, which I'm keen for.
Didn't we all assume that anyway?
Maybe. I don't know. I'm always a little bit apprehensive with Chris and like his tendency to bring characters back but
Fair enough.
not do a lot with them.
Okay, fair enough. Well, he still might not do a lot with them, even though they're in it a lot.
True, they might just be sat in a white room, which is all we're seeing from marketing is them still
Yeah,
in the line.
that's some unit base, looks like.
Yeah.
That's some unit
God,
HQ.
unit downgraded.
But from the photos they show, it looks like Ace is in the cave where the Cybermen and Daleks are, which is pretty cool.
Yes.
So they get to meet them again. I'm assuming Ace did meet the Daleks and Cybermen. I don't know.
I believe, yeah, she did.
The Daleks.
Because there's Remembrance of the Daleks.
Did she ever meet the Cybermen?
It's Silver Nemesis, I think she meets them. I've not seen that one, but I believe that's the
Okay.
season 25 Cyberman story. Was meant to be the 25th anniversary story, and it just was not as good as they wanted it to be. So I think it kind of
25th
got...
anniversary?
Yeah, like unofficial one. You know,
That's
like,
pretty cool.
Like it wasn't marketed as that, but when they were making it, they were like, okay, this one's going to mark 25
Okay,
years.
cool.
But I don't
Did
think
it come
was...
out on the 23rd November?
No, I think Classic Who, they just threw them out anytime that year, I think. I think Three Doctors came out
They're like,
earlier
you'll put
in the
one
year.
and two together.
Yeah, you figure it out. But yeah, we did see, as kind of hinted at there, the big baseball bat and Ace in her jacket, which we did also get a glimpse of in the trailer, but it's nice to have a proper high-quality photo
Do
of
you
it.
know what? When I saw that, I was like, that's so obvious it'd be there, but it was such a good surprise.
Yeah.
I didn't see that in the trailer. I didn't even know that was in a shot of the trailer.
There's a shot of, and it's like a blink or you miss it shot.
Right.
Where if you pause it, you can see there's someone, and it looks like Ace in her jacket.
With the bat.
With the bat smacking a Dalek, and it like sparks in the caves.
Oh, okay.
And there's like notorious, you would have seen the gif at some point of, from Remembrance of the Daleks, young Sophie Aldred as Ace
Right.
hitting one of the,
Right.
God, I can't remember what they're called, but the special Daleks that they have, it begins with E, but I can't remember it. In Remembrance of the Daleks, they're the yellow and gold ones. Sorry, the
Awesome.
white and gold ones. and she like smacks them in that.
I thought, pardon the pun, it looked ace. It actually really did. Again, I don't know why, because it's like, of course she'd be wearing it, but I was like, this actually looks fucking sick. Like,
yeah, everything we've seen looks good. So
no,
show us more.
Yeah, definitely. From the very short amount of time I had with watching Ace as a companion, I really loved her. And everyone knows I simp Ace. It's true.
Yes.
And I continue to do it when I watch Power of the Doctor.
Yes, which is in 2 episodes' time of this podcast, we're going to be reviewing Power of the Doctor. How crazy.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Goodness me.
It's
now that really
quick.
does put things in perspective.
Yeah, of how close the episode is.
I'm gonna wake up, man, and I'm gonna be like, I'm so keen to watch it.
Wake me
I'm like,
up.
sorry, Kim, this is going on the big screen.
Yeah. What's the thing?
Time to wake up.
Babe, wake up. The Power of the Doctor's
Power
out.
of the Doctor's out. She's like, I don't care. I'm like, you don't want to see David Tennant's added cameo at the end of the episode? Yeah, I want to do a I hate reaction videos. They're such an easy way to get views, so that's why I'm doing it. I'm gonna the last 5 minutes set up a camera and do my reaction to a possible David Tennant cameo, or maybe they wouldn't be. But I think either way,
maybe a Shooty Gatwa cameo,
or fuck yeah, it could be. It could be either of those things, and I still think it'd be a worthy reaction.
Yes.
So, and then I think I'm going to work, so I'll probably just edit it at work.
On the fly.
At lunch, maybe, or when the boss isn't looking.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, Aiden, quick, make a thumbnail. We throw it up, and then yeah.
It should be said as well.
Just watch the fucking monetization come in. That's
it. Bring it on, baby. Bring us them 500 subs. It is worth saying, and if a trailer has come out, I probably would have put a disclaimer at the start of this video that this was filmed before the trailer came out. So it is worth saying, and I think there's a very high chance that the trailers come out. Well, look, there's a 1 in 17 chance that the trailer's coming out, and I don't think the trailer's going to come out within a week. So it's like within a week of the episode coming out. So it's like we got 5 to 10 days.
Is it normally Sunday nights they come out though?
Mate, they throw that shit out whenever they want.
They make their own rules.
They do
at the BBC.
That's it. They're like, marketing.
They're like, trying.
We don't need it.
Who cares, man? You love it anyway. You're gonna watch anyway, aren't you? And I'm like, yeah, but
yeah, true.
It's not the point.
Yeah. I'll be very sad to see Jodie go though. Everything does look really cool for that episode. So
she's not even getting any like anything about it. Like
I know.
It's kind of, it feels so. We've only witnessed 3 regenerations in our time watching Doctor Who.
I want to say 4, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12. So that's 3 proper ones, but then also we got McGann to War and War to 9 kind of.
But seasons, and it always felt different, I think. I mean, with 9, I was a kid, so I didn't really understand the whole idea of regeneration. I didn't really get it. But especially with like 10, 11, and 12, I really felt that heartbreak. And I really hope this episode brings out... I'm rewatching Broadchurch at the moment. My partner has never seen it, so I wanted to show her it. We're in season 2 right now. And especially season 1, I'm so shocked about how good Chibnall is as a writer.
He brings out really strong emotions.
Crazy. It's actually really good. And like Jodie is so good in it, and she completely nails the character, and it would have been such a hard character to portray and get it right. And she nails it in every scene. And I'm just really upset and shocked that Chibnall didn't see her acting range in that. I'm not saying do the exact same character, but I was saying this like last night to Dan, like The Timeless Child is arguably one of the hardest things, if not the hardest things the Doctor's ever gone through.
Yeah, she doesn't know who she is.
Yeah. It's such an emotionless plot.
Yeah,
and the Doctor feels so emotionless.
They do a lot with it.
You know,
I don't know.
It's just kind of fucking weird.
Rewatching Flux, like I really like Jodie, like, and I
love Flux, man. Yeah,
yeah, I know you do. And I think like Flux for me is what I'll remember of the 13th Doctor, and
me too.
And that's great that we're kind of going out with that in a way, because we got that, and then we've got my favorite Chibnall special with Eve of the Daleks.
Oh man.
Legend of the Sea Devils, we'll just throw under the rug and forget that one happened.
And hopefully this is really, and then this new episode is really good.
I hope so. And it has got me, rewatching Flux has got me excited, really has made me love the 13th Doctor in a way that I don't think I have in the past. And so I am keen to, well, I say I'm keen to see her go. Like I'm keen to see the episode because I'm keen for the heartbreak. I'm not keen to see her go.
No, I know what you mean. To be honest with you, like, I feel like I had a streak going from like Halloween Apocalypse up to Eve of the Daleks. From like I've actually really enjoyed every episode. I had like episodes 4 and 6 I wasn't a huge fan of, but actually still really enjoyed. I seem to like the Vanquishers, I think, even more than you, actually. I actually enjoy it more,
I'm interested to see. I've only seen it
you've got
once.
your rewatch coming up, haven't you?
Yeah, so I've seen the first 3 chapters, so I'm interested to see.
That'd be cool.
How the last
to
3
hear
hold up.
thoughts. But even, seriously, as much as Legend of the Sea Devils kind of fucking sucked, like, I know I can let it slide if Power of the Doctor slaps.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I can
definitely.
let it slide. I understand it was during COVID and there was a lot of shit going on, and
Yeah. And I think like when
you're
we were
right
talking
though, about the whole era thing, though. I think that's how I will remember it.
when we were talking to Josh about Legend of the Sea Devils like ages ago, I think they said that it feels like an episode that maybe they didn't quite get it all in the can. Like they didn't quite manage to film it all because
feels it,
and I think it happens in TV. You know,
and
sometimes
it's shorter as well.
Sometimes we forget. Well, yeah, exactly. But sometimes we forget with these big shows that they are still TV shows, especially BBC. Like, I know obviously Doctor Who has so much more money in it now than it did back in the day, but it still is for what it's trying to do. To once again quote Josh, the little show that could, you know, like they're doing massive things on a big budget, but not as big as the other shows and things, you know. So
no, absolutely.
You know, these things happen where they don't get to shoot everything they wanted to shoot, and yeah, hopefully that's the excuse for Legends of the Sea Devils.
But seriously, like, I think that Flux is probably the smartest thing I've ever seen a show do in COVID. I think they turned such a shit situation into something that was so... It brought out something in me as a Doctor Who fan that I hadn't felt in years.
Yeah.
And that sadly included, like, Peter's era, because when Peter's era was ending, I was, like, changing as a person and growing up, and I hadn't felt that spark in a while.
We were all
I just
angsty.
felt so excited in Flux. I was like a fucking child, man. I loved it. So.
Yeah. And like rewatching it, I'm feeling that again.
It's so exciting. I love Flux. I can't wait to rewatch it.
I was worried that the week by week thing, like the cliffhangers, I was going to be like, okay, I know what happens now. It's not as exciting to speculate, especially knowing that it does kind of end on a bit of a downer with the Vanquishers. But I'm loving it. Like, genuinely, like, I watched 2 back to back, and then I watched 1 first thing the next day, and like,
Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, and I loved all 3. Like, I really loved all 3.
We were loving Once Upon a Time. Everyone was like,
I know.
Everyone was like, it's shit, and we were like, let's go. This was some great content.
And I still think it's great. Like,
I
I really
really
think
love
it's
it.
great.
I really
Those
love
3 episodes have been great. I think I'm going to really like Village of the Angels this time because we weren't huge on it when we first watched it. We did like it, but we were kind of, the opposite way around of the fandom a little bit. And then I'm interested to see how I go with the ending. With the last 2.
Yeah.
But yeah.
We should do like a Flux rewatch.
Yeah, give it a bit of time and then we should.
That's when I'll rewatch it, and I'm like seriously keen to revisit it because it was like I just said, like, it was actually like it felt so special.
Exciting time.
It was very exciting, and that's how we'll feel next year with said people on the desk.
Well,
David, Catherine, and
they can't see it. They can't even see the desk in this shot today.
No, it's there, I promise.
Yeah, there's something there. But next year, that is the 60th anniversary year. But a little bit of grim news this week coming out the 60th. Not the news we wanted to hear. Was from Peter Capaldi.
Oh, right.
Peter Capaldi, in an interview with the Radio Times, he said, "It's very hard to imagine how you get a decent crack of the whip when there's 14 of you, you know? So I think I'd rather leave it as is, because I love my time on Doctor Who and love doing it. I don't want to be Doctor Who's assistant." Laughs. Ha ha. I need to drive... It used to drive me insane on Doctor Who, not being able to talk about anything. It's like, who cares? But then I get into trouble. Capaldi went on to discuss the responsibility that comes with playing the Doctor and the way in which it engages the public's perception of you. In a way, when you're Doctor Who, you sort of become another person, because you sort of embody that when you're in public. So you have to be able to turn that on. But it's not necessarily natural to all of us. It's true. I've talked to others about it. You don't want to disappoint people. You really don't. I think that shows that obviously PCAP understands the role of the Doctor and what it means to people in general. And, you know, you can definitely see him being more sweary. He's coming back and doing Big Mouth and...
yeah, he's in Big Mouth. Crazy.
Other shows. And so, yeah, he's clearly moved on from that and doesn't want to have to hold on to that Doctor in real life kind of thing. Like, he doesn't want to have to be that role model as much, I guess. Like, obviously, I'm not saying he doesn't want to be a role model anymore, but, you know, when you're the Doctor, you don't swear, you don't do anything like that. And I think he's looking to step away from that now. And it just looks like he also wasn't a fan of multi-doctor stories. So I guess no PCAP in the 60th.
That's what Exon said as well.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean...
Pretty
Cap
nuts.
Could be lying. We know that David
Could
and
be.
Catherine have shot scenes with lots of other actors, they said. And so there's a chance that maybe he did a scene or something. Which I think, but I think I'm definitely counting out the fact that he's got a big role in the 60th.
Yeah.
I could see maybe he's got a scene, and this is his reasoning why he didn't want to have a big role, but he could, yeah.
It is slightly boomer to be like, there's 14 of us, because like, I didn't think all 14 were going to be in the special anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, that's...
You say boomer?
Yeah, boomer.
Okay, boomer.
Yeah. By the way, I love Peter, and he's
Yes.
completely entitled to his own opinion. And like literally watching this episode today that we are reviewing, it made me so sad that that's probably it. But you're right, he could be lying. We always have to say that.
Don't
But
believe it till I see it.
I'm not gonna get excited for it because there's a chance I just think it won't happen, and it is sad. But I'm very glad that he is enjoying another era in his career.
Yes.
I'm very happy for his success, and I really hope more people will love him as much as we have. It's hard having like a Doctor on Doctor Who. It's hard because like you get so used to them for so long. You got memories and seasons, and it's hard when they go away to you instantly just assume as a fan you're like, oh, why wouldn't you come back? But
Yeah.
they're a human being as well, like he was saying, like, you know, that public persona is something that none of us could ever imagine. I know David's been very open about it being quite shocking at the start, and it would be. Your whole life changes, like,
Yeah, definitely.
so there's a whole side of it we never will understand.
Yeah.
So
I know Capaldi's always said he was a massive fan of his run on Doctor Who, and that's one of the reasons why he doesn't want to come back to it, because he felt like he did a good job and doesn't want to really tarnish it by coming back and I guess being Doctor Who's assistant for an episode and not actually being his doctor. He's just there for a few lines, you know.
Yeah.
And I think when I first read that quote, I was like, did you get the best run as the Doctor? And I was like angsty, and I was like, I don't know, you know, your stories weren't great and stuff. But like rewatching it, I think the only episode where he wasn't written great was The Caretaker. And other than that, in seasons 8 and 9 that we've done on the rewatch, I think he's been an incredible like Doctor, and we've always loved him. But
yeah, of course.
But in particular, I think the writing, maybe not all the stories come together, but I think the writing for his Doctor has been consistently great. And and his performance also reflects that. So I can see why he'd be really chuffed and doesn't want to come back and tarnish that.
Well, he's been saying that for a while as well. I know when he was doing press for Suicide Squad, and that was in August last year, he was saying pretty much the exact same thing. So this isn't a new thing. It's just another... He's got a drama coming out. I think it's on BBC.
He does, yes.
So I think that's what he was doing press for. And of course, the question is going to come up.
The Doctor Who question. One last little bit of news for us today, Connor. And that is, you know, I mentioned earlier, season 15? Mm-hmm. What?
Hey, we haven't even gotten 14 yet.
Oh my god, you
What
stole
is
the
going
words out
on?
of my mouth.
What is going on?
Season 15, we've got, and look, this is a tiny bit of news, and we're like, I don't want to say we're grasping on straws here, but like we got, it's cool to know they're looking ahead to the future, right? So...
We love to grasp on straws, though, and that's our whole job.
That's the podcast, man.
That's the podcast.
The 50% Grasping on Straws
Straws
podcast. So Rusty Davis, last night, as of recording this, so Wednesday, he appeared on a little talkie... I've lost my words here. He took part of the BBC Academy's online Climate Creatives Conference. And so TARDIS Central on Twitter did a really good job of recounting what Russell was saying on there. And here's some of the things he had to say on climate change. It's genuinely hard because the Doctor is such a genius. It's an inbuilt problem with the show. They're such a genius you think, well, why don't you step out the TARDIS and fix the problem? And then you have to dig deep, work, and then he makes a moral speech. Well, it's up to the human race to solve that problem, which is a very true speech. It's also a dodge. So it's very difficult. And he can't. Why doesn't he walk out the TARDIS and cure cancer? Why doesn't he fix the ozone? It's a tricky one. And you've also got to take a deep breath and say, that's not what we're here for. We're here to have an enormous rattling adventure for 50 minutes and have fun and make an audience so happy. And that is a very, very important thing. But there are stories. There are stories that are on the way, specifically looking at stuff like that. Not all the time, but it has to become part of the whole atmosphere of the show. It has to be, because it's true. It's the world we're living in now. And I'm much more interested in trying to looking forward to season 2, which is taking a look at how we ignore these things. So, a bit of a rattly comment there from Russell, but very well thought out, I think. And yeah, he mentions season 2, which is obviously season 15. Whether or not they'll go back to calling it season 1 and season 2, who knows? But yeah, confirmation there that we are probably going to have, we're definitely going to have Russell for at least 2 seasons, and I'd assume Shooty along with him.
Yeah. Well, we are lucky that we have him.
Very lucky
for now. We assumed he was staying, but you never know these days. We live in a mad world, Aiden.
He's a one-season kind of guy as well, for all his other shows.
Yeah, exactly. But it's pretty cool that he is so confident about his arc that he'd be thinking about that second season he's going to be doing as well. It's pretty interesting. That's a very Russell T Davies comment, which is why I love the guy, and he's very he's very alert on the issues, and he does it in a way that's not patronizing or in your face. It's just very honest.
Yeah.
What more have you got to say?
Exactly. It'll be interesting to see how he tackles these sort of big issues, because
definitely
we've seen different showrunners handle it to different ways of success.
55 is a big one.
Look, man, I wasn't gonna say it, but yeah, Orphan 55 is.
Everyone keeps saying it.
It's a mixed one, because it's I appreciate that they were like, no, we need to tell people this, and it's very to the face, pretty much to camera. I think it might be to camera actually, and it is very in your face, but it is also there is more subtle ways of doing it. But then there's also the doctor's just told you, the viewer, off, so there is, I guess, some integrity to that. My problem with that episode isn't necessarily the last minute of it; it's more the rest of the episode. But we'll get to that in 2023 when we review it.
I know, the year of the 60th.
Huge year, man! Huge year ahead of us.
It's coming, baby.
It is coming. I feel like this is the dumb question. What's the thing you're most excited for in 2023 for the 60th?
Hey, man, I hate to say it, but I think the
60th.
There are many things to be excited for next year. I think it's going to be an amazing year for many reasons. I've got a lot of great plans. I'm very, very excited about stuff. And I think Russell's return is going to be one of the amazing highlights of next year. I have great plans for next year, and I also think it's going to be a ray of sunshine. I really do. I'm really excited for it, actually.
Good times ahead?
Oh, a lot of good times ahead.
Good.
A lot of good times ahead. That was a very positive answer from quite a negative Nancy that I am. I can be quite negative, but I actually am. And by the way, I'm not trying to push it all to next year as the time that it's going to just instantly flop. I know it's not.
Yeah.
But I am actually putting in the work now to make sure that we can start, I say we, I mean I, can start the year
strong.
Running.
Yeah.
That means sound bites that Aiden hates.
No, sound bites can
That means
go out the window.
I did a camera test yesterday in my car. Aiden said down the pub to my dad that he better make that show next year, otherwise I'm disowning him.
Oh, was your dad told you what I said to your dad? Oh, did I?
No, I didn't. No,
I
he just said we spoke about you, and I was
That's
like,
right.
okay, I'm not.
I went down the pub with Connor's dad.
Yeah, well, we ran
just
into
me,
each other.
just me and him.
Oh, fuck. We bumped into each other, and Aiden said he better do that show that he keeps yapping on about.
Yes, next year.
Hey man, first week of January is the first episode.
Huge. Okay, that's good. I like to hear it.
It's been my goal for a while to do. But this is in years and years time.
Yep,
that's a Russell pun. But I want to eventually get to the 5 shows a week.
Wow.
And
that's when you're earning the money from it, and
exactly,
you can put that time into it, right?
Exactly right. But right now, next year, 2 shows a week.
Got his own project.
One my own. And I think, great little side project. So, and it's baby steps, baby. Baby steps, baby.
Baby?
Yeah, but I'm very excited. So I'd say I'm very excited about my creative side. And also, of course, Russell coming back. That was a long-winded answer to that question.
It was, and I'll be honest, when I asked it, I meant in terms of Doctor Who, what are you excited for?
Well, I mentioned Doctor Who as half of it.
But I appreciate the wider answer.
Well, David's back. I'm a simp for David. I love him, you know. How can I not? But I guess, as much as I'm excited for David coming back, Russell holds such a place in my heart. Every time I watch a Russell episode, I feel like a little pixie has flown into my room and sprinkled some pixie dust on my
I think you've said that
heart,
a few times before.
and I fly around the room like a fairy. That's how I feel. Like seriously,
like the Torchwood episode 5 fairies.
That's literally the analogy I use. That Russell flies into my room and sprinkles my heart with pixie dust, and I start flying around my room. That's literally how I feel.
I agree. I feel
let
the same.
The child come out of me again, but embrace the old, embrace the new, and of course he's going to do that. I keep telling everybody, man, this is the year for Doctor Who.
I think for me. I'll add a personal touch into it. 2023, I'm looking forward to. I'm going to New Zealand, like I told you off camera last week.
Solo shows, baby. It used to just hearing
me. That's what's going to be interesting. So me and my girlfriend, we're getting a caravan and we're traveling around the North Island of New Zealand. We're going to be there for about 3 weeks. So for 3 episodes, and look, maybe we'll pre-record one of me and you, but who knows? But you're definitely going to get probably at least 2 episodes where it's going to be a Connor show, baby. And we'll always make sure there's someone there with you, so you do have someone to bounce off of, and there is a 2-man thing. But it's like
me.
I'm going on holiday, but we're going to keep the show going. And maybe I'll be out of the job when I come back.
No. Why?
Because you'll have a better host. I'm talking about...
Oh, God, I thought you meant your own personal job.
No, that's fine. People are always dying, and I'll be there to film it.
I was going to say, you can take leave, right?
Well, I'm casual, so I just say, hey, man, I'm not working here.
And they go, we can't stop you.
Literally it. My boss was like, oh, we've already got one of our full-timers away then. And I was like, I'm sorry, man, I'm going. And they were like, look, I get it. My boss is a super chill guy. Anyways, enough of my personal life. 60th, I'm excited for... look, to be honest, like, I'm very keen to see David. And probably seeing Wilf is like the big thing for me.
Oh, of course.
Out of the David Catherine sort of part of the 60th, seeing Wilf is the big thing for me. But I'm more excited, honestly, and I feel like I'm being too much of a tryhard saying this, but I'm more excited to see Shooty's involvement in the 60th or Shooty's involvement after the 60th than I am the whole David Catherine thing. I really am, just because I think he's such a great talent, and I can't wait to see what he brings to it, and seeing new things is very good. But also seeing what other treats Russell has in store throughout the 60th is a big thing.
Well, the good question is, how much will Shooty be involved in the 60th even? Like,
yeah.
It could be not a lot.
It could be. It took you a while to think of the words "not a lot."
Well, I don't want to say not a lot, because I'm sure whatever he is in is going to be amazing, and it will feel like a lot, or, you know... But I know David's been on record saying that no one's guessed what is happening yet. And he has also come out on record and said he is not the 14th Doctor.
So who the fuck knows what's going on there?
Alternate universe, I reckon.
Maybe.
Has to be.
I don't know. I really don't know about that one. But I think it's exciting either way. And I think a big thing for me is, like, we look back on the 50th, right? And the celebrations are not going to be as big as the 50th. One, because the 50th was the 50th. 60th obviously isn't as big of an anniversary as the 50th. But also the show isn't in the same spot as it was 10 years ago. And that's not a negative thing. Well, I mean, I guess it technically is, but I'm not saying that as an insult. It's just a fact. Like, it's not as big as it was in 2013 when it had just blown up in America and things like that.
Right.
But I'm excited for maybe an after show or just some form of, like, the celebrations that came with the 50th. Hopefully we do get some of that hype. Like, some, even if it is just like a bit of merch. I remember in the 50th, I'm not that much of a collector other than the Blu-rays. But I do have a few little bits of Doctor Who merch here and there. My, like, pride of my merch is the stamps from the 50th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
So I have the full collection of those stamps. And just, like, little touches like that are so special to, like, this is 50th exclusive merch and this is 60th exclusive merch. I'm really looking forward to that kind of thing. I think that's really special and people hold on to that for a long time.
You're right about not being as big, though, because, like... Russell coming back is really just for, like, the diehard fans who, like, know who he is. Like, to the regular Joe, that means diddly squat.
Yeah, Joe doesn't know Russell.
They don't know who Russell is from a
No.
bar of soap. So,
Yeah.
it's actually kind of a treat to the fans more than well, look, it's going to be a treat to the regular audiences, obviously, because of the writing. We keep hyping it up. Let's hope it's good. Imagine if it's not good.
Yeah,
I think I'd cry
Russell's
all
fault.
night. Like, I reckon I'd cry probably more than a night.
Well, look, it's
Or a
like
year.
if the first one's not good, maybe we hold out hope for the second one. Always the optimist. We still keep going.
This is me with the whole Chibnall era, to be honest. And then I got Flux at the end.
Well, we did get Flux, right? So we are now
Yeah, it took
excited.
4 years to get there, but yeah. 4 years of pain.
Anyways.
Oh, Lord.
Husbands of River Song is the episode we're talking about today.
Yeah.
Which, we haven't really spoken about much yet in the episode. But The Husbands of River Song is an episode of the British science fiction television series Doctor Who, first broadcast on Christmas Day in 2015. It's the 11th Christmas special since the show's revival in 2015. Marks the return of Alex Kingston as River Song in her first and I think only appearance alongside Peter Capaldi's 12th Doctor.
Yeah,
It also
this last
marks
Pereira.
the first appearance as Nardole, who would become a companion next season.
Yeah,
And
Maddie Lucas.
this is the thing with this episode, right? Even Wikipedia has been like, there's not a lot of a plot. Like, there's no plot. Usually that first paragraph has like a sentence or two describing the plot. There's not a plot in there, right? And I think that's to the episode's success and also to its detriment. What did you think in 2015 watching The Husbands of River Song?
I normally don't have anything fun to say about this shit when you ask my question, but I actually have a really cool answer.
Hit me, that's what we're here for.
My cousin was over from the UK and we watched it together on Boxing Day night.
Very cool.
So that was really cool. And then the year after, so he came to Australia that year, and then in 2016 I went to the UK and we watched Mysterio together. So I recall watching it with him. He loved it.
Yeah.
And I had that bad taste in my mouth of Hellbent, which, like we said last week, is not the abomination that we thought it was.
No, it's a solid episode.
I actually liked it.
I
didn't love it, but
I really liked it. I didn't love it, but I really liked it.
There
I
you
was
go.
emotionally attached.
We enjoyed it a lot more. But I was on like a really bad spiral with the show, and I thought this was just another stack of crap, and I thought even worse of next week's. But I remember my cousin just loving it. He was laughing. Because it's such a fucking wacky ass episode, man. Like, and I think you have to be in the right mood and the right headspace of the era to enjoy it. Otherwise, you're just gonna hate it.
Yeah.
But I think when I watched it today, I finally found a love for the episode, and a love that I know people have for it. I still don't run home about it. I probably wouldn't put it on at Christmas like I do with other episodes, but I think this is actually an episode that I can actually finally enjoy. To say I've enjoyed.
Yeah, well, this is the first Christmas special set off-world. So that's a very interesting thing. So episodes have featured scenes off-world, but upon the whole, being not
true.
on Earth is a big thing.
Yeah. What about you?
I don't really remember it. I think it was an episode that I watched and was just like, yeah, right. Like, didn't do anything for me, didn't impact me.
Yeah, same.
I think I always thought Nardole was pretty cringe. And I never was a big fan of River Song back in the day until we did this rewatch when I was like, fuck, she's awesome. Like, I really like River. And, but then I'd heard a lot of people hype it up over the last few years, especially Dylan, who was going to join us today. And they'd sort of said, it's really great. And I think it's one of Dylan's, if not, it's like Dylan's favorite Capaldi episode or something like that.
Yes.
And so I went in sort of with that in mind, hoping to be convinced that there's more to it. And I think there's a lot to love in this episode. I don't think it's the bee's knees by any means. But I think my biggest takeaway from this episode is Alex Kingston, fucking amazing. Like,
Definitely.
One, like, I know this is the end of Alex Kingston in Doctor Who. So, like, talking about her casting is we should have done this, like, episodes and episodes ago. But what perfect casting is Alex Kingston for this role? Like, we've got to say that. And her chemistry with Capaldi, who brings it insanely. They're so funny together. They have this chemistry, even though, she doesn't know who he is until later on, but there's still this great chemistry there. I think it's a fun romp of an episode. There's a lot to really enjoy there. I think it lacks an overarching threat, which a lot of the things I say about this episode is very similar to how I feel about Hellbent, actually. So it lacks an overarching threat. But for me, it's a bunch of really well-written character scenes. And on an emotional level, but also, like, this is a rom-com.
Definitely.
This is so funny. And it's also shot like that. I think it's got a really beautiful color palette. The blues and the yellows.
I love the color palette, man. It looks stunning.
It's like the best it's ever looked, honestly.
Especially when it starts in that little street with the snow and the TARDIS. It looks fucking stunning.
Are you talking about Trap Street? Did you not pick up on that?
Oh, wow.
That street is like 100%. It's Trap Street from Face the Raven, but they put snow, and some Christmas lights.
Now, oh God, you know what's so weird? When I watched that, I'm like, this kind of feels familiar.
You're like, have I been there?
I'm like, Diagon Alley? Is this it? Like, wow. Yeah,
that's Trap Street, man. Like, it really, it's the shot, the main street where the TARDIS is, when they do the reverse of, Nardole and stuff, you can tell, that's where Clara died.
Look, man, you got to save some money somehow.
Yeah, I respect it. They did a good job with it. That's not a problem for me.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I think you're right. It does feel like a bit of a collection of scenes and character moments. And I think when Moffat really wants to bring it, he can.
Definitely.
And deliver some beautiful scenes. And there are two scenes in particular. The scene when River finally finds out that the man standing next to her is actually the Doctor, and obviously that's
very sweet.
The singing towers at the end. They're very emotional scenes where I totally bought every line that was being delivered, and I really loved everything that Stephen had written. But it is a very whack and bizarre episode.
It is, yeah.
Is it Greg Daniels?
Greg Davies.
Greg Davies?
Davies, yeah.
Good old Gilbert.
Davis, one of them.
Gilbert.
Yeah, Gilbert. I forgot he's Gilbert.
Gilbert!
I just always think of him from Doctor Who.
Yeah, dude, it's so funny, man. He's like a massive British comedian, and I respect that he had it just kind of was like, I'm sure Moffat pitched it like, you're gonna be ahead.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'll do it. Like, he just goes with it, man. He doesn't give a fuck. He's like, I'll be ahead. And I remember going to the experience and seeing the model they made of his head, because
none of that was there for me.
Sometimes they carry the prop of the head.
Yep.
And I'm like, I've seen that.
It was a good prop. It looked good, I thought.
It's pretty
on
convincing.
Screen. Yeah.
And they do. It's funny. They obviously do the old table trick.
Yeah,
and
really
I love
obviously.
That. And I'm like, it's so classy.
Especially when it's on the TARDIS console. You can see the consoles all it's rubber.
Dude, I love it. You gotta love it. It's the oldest trick in the book, and it's kind of campy and fun. And what about Nardole then? This is our first Nardole episode. And
He's hardly in it.
We get him for a whole companion, man. It's crazy.
What I don't understand is that this episode is Nardole's in it, but he's very much like we'll put Matt Lucas in for a bit of fun, right? He's got 10 lines of dialogue, and they all do nothing for the plot. They're there just for a bit of a funny. And at some point between filming this episode and starting pre-production for Series 10, they've gone, man, that Matt Lucas guy was really good in Husbands of River Song. Let's bring him back as a full-time companion. I don't know where they came to that decision. I'm glad they did, because from memory, even though he's probably a bit cringe at times, he's a enjoyable part of Series 10.
Definitely. But I remember, I hate to say this because I think Matt Lucas is a very nice person. But I remember being on the train of, what a cringy
Nardole hate train,
character.
Right?
There was so much Nardole hate. And I remember when he got announced as the companion, there was a lot of backlash. I recall going into season 10, especially you and I being like, this looks terrible, because the only bits of news we got was Nardole's a full-time companion, and then the story for Smile got leaked,
and we saw the emoji bots,
and we were just like, okay. And again, can I remind you, this is on my hatred train for the show. I was like, we're doomed. And then went to really enjoy season 10, which was really cool. But yeah, he's obviously a huge British comedian, and it's kind of cringe, and I can kind of see what they're going for. But yeah, very much like you, I like his character, but I like his character when they actually take him fucking seriously. In season 10, in this episode and the next, I do recall just not liking his character at all, because I just don't think it.
Yeah.
When Moffat does that cringe humor, and I love Steven, but when he does that cringe humor, I don't have a lot of time for it. Unfortunately.
No, that's fair. I like Missy dabbing.
Missy does dab. A couple years too late, I believe, as well.
I think it was.
It was
It was
a couple
like
years too late.
it was like they did season 9 and dabbing was huge, and that Moffat was like, "Fuck, all our scripts are locked off. Better save that one for series 10."
Do you think that was Michelle Gomez, or do you think that was Steven?
No, I think I read years ago that Steven learned it from his son, and that's why he included it in the episode, I believe.
Thanks, Lewis.
Thanks, Lewis. Jeez, Lewis Moffat, what a champ. One thing that I liked about this episode, but I have some thoughts about it, is that it's very much the opposite way around of what we usually see. So what we usually see is River Song on an adventure with the Doctor. This is the Doctor on an adventure with River Song, and it feels like that. You know, we've got the glamour of that awesome spaceship that they end up on. The Byzantium. That's the Angels one, right? What's the ship in this one called?
That does get mentioned there, which is pretty cool. I feel like they made a movie out of that, didn't they?
Yeah, they crashed the Byzantium.
Pretty cool.
But yeah, they end up on this glamorous ship, which is very River Song. It's like you hear the Big Finish audios, and they've got this range of like an archaeology Egyptian dig, but then there's also the glamour side, and it hit the glamour side. I felt like what this episode could have done is River Song's kind of like space Indiana Jones, if I'm honest. And we're on an adventure with River. Would have been kind of cool if they reflected that a little bit more. So we got like the glamour side of it, but I think it would have been cool to have seen, I don't know, maybe the diamond was in a temple or something, like a more interesting setting. And you kind of have like, oh my God, this is a River Song adventure that we're on right now. Like, it'd be really cool to see that adventurous side of her. But that's like a me being wishful kind of thing. I really like what we got. I like how we were on an adventure with River rather than the other way around. It's a nice change.
And this is, I think, by the way, I'm a grown-ass man lying like on my bed watching this episode today, completely sober.
Yep.
And I think I am going through a bit of an emotional time in my life right now. A lot of things are changing. And I'm not going to lie to you, those two scenes I mentioned before, I didn't cry, but I got misty-eyed. And I would say half misty-eyed. I didn't even get
what was the second
misty. So the scene where Riddler finds out the Doctor is standing next to her and the towers. At the end.
The end. Okay, yeah, cool.
And I think those scenes are stunning. And especially when you clock on that she had just been to Manhattan.
Yeah.
I think that was awesome. And you piece it together. This is something I'll never do, by the way, because I don't really have the time or energy to do it. But I'm sure there's a River Song timeline out there where you can watch the episodes in order.
There is. Yeah,
there must be. But I think once you find out it's her last outing with the Doctor, and he gives, because I remember when I was younger, when I saw she had the Sonic in Science Library. That's a great reveal. It annoyed me so much because I was like, where did she get it from? I must know. I must know. And then when we finally got the answer, when I'm all grown up, I was like, wow, that pays off really well. It
was a great reveal, and we got, little bits of score from the Russell T Davies era. One, we had like the Science in the Library theme in a way, and then we also did have like the OG Doctor's theme from like series 1 at one point.
I did notice all this stuff, hey,
which was cool. The ending works so well for me, and I think that's a testament to
the restaurant.
How good, but like
it's cool.
The whole thing,
it's kind of cute. Hey,
the whole thing is leading up to it being the Doctor and River's last day, and I think that's really special. And I think
Beryllium.
I think Moffat clearly really cares about the character of River, and I think that really shows. And I feel like it's a really fitting send off for her. And also potentially for Moffat, because I'll talking behind the scenes, this was potentially one of was going to be Moffat's send-off script.
Interesting.
But yeah, and I think it's a great tie-up. The emotions really work for me at the end, and I think that score from Murray is stunning. That is so beautiful. Everything about the last like 10-15 minutes of this episode I think is fantastic. More character work, and it's great.
And that's what you care about. At the end of the day, you don't give a fuck about this like robot side plot. You don't care. It's all the character work, And
that's why, the big downer for this season was Sleep No More, because it's one of those episodes that you're just like, there's no character work, and you're just there going, so the dust is in their eyes, and the dust makes the monsters.
So I'm not gonna even trying to figure it out.
Yeah, you're just trying to figure out well, yeah, you're trying to figure it out, but you can't figure it out.
You don't
The
care
plot.
enough to figure it out. Yeah.
Whereas, I'd much rather watch this, which is 56 minutes of character scenes. 56 minutes, by the way. Usually they're 60 minutes. What a jip.
How dare they spare us those 4 minutes?
4 fantastic minutes.
You're right, though, about them working so well together, and Alex Kingston somehow works magically with David Tennant, Matt Smith, and Peter Capaldi so well.
Yeah.
And it's quite a risky thing, I'm sure, to bring in another Doctor. You're like, maybe the chemistry just like might not work. Mm-hmm. And I think somehow it just magically works. And their banter together, like, there is some shit in this episode. There's some lines in this episode. I'm like, I'm shocked the BBC let me say it.
Yeah.
Like, there's one line when Pete's like, it's a bit tight, and then literally River Song says, "Should I take that personally?" And then Peter's like, "What do you think of my new body?" And she's like, "I haven't seen it all yet."
Yeah.
So these are comments about fucking pussies and penises. Like, seriously, that's not like an opinion. That's a fact.
Yeah.
And I love that the BBC were like, and especially at for a Christmas episode where there's the family that fucking grands on the couch, like,
they're talking about pussy.
They're talking about pussy and penis.
Turn it off.
Get it off. Turn this disgusting show off.
Yeah.
I respect it, and I'm sure BBC just turned a blind eye to it, but River's always been like that. That's her character.
Mm-hmm. We also had these cool... They were really cool monster, the alien prosthetics. I thought they looked really nice, that design.
That was gnarly as hell.
And I wish,
the head pulling...
That was cool, but...
It looked so cool.
I really
it was weirdly satisfying.
Yeah, seeing it rip
kind
apart.
of looked... It looked really gross, but it just was so cool.
You kind of want to touch it?
Yeah, you kind of do.
Yeah, I want to pull that head
on the
apart.
Couch being like, again, turn it off.
Woo! Turn it off!
This is not child-friendly at Christmas.
I like... What I was going towards was the more like alien blue guy, and not the normal blue men from like Russell's era and Series 10, but yeah, that like blue alien cosmetic that they had. Amazing. I thought that was really cool, and I thought he was kind of a good villain, and I wish he was.
Yeah, it was very cheeky.
I'm talking about Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones has a really big, a little bit cliche of a villain that's hunting them down to get that jewel. It would have been cool if we had that villain earlier on and was like, he was wanting that jewel as she was. I don't know. That would be a very different script, but I think I'd like that. He's a very
sneaky character. He instantly rats on River.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I love how it's like, she's like, how are your children's like, still digesting their mother? Like, it's like, so... It looked like asparagus. They have these little whiskers that look like asparagus, the vegetable. It always reminds me of asparagus. I don't know why, but it does.
Mm-hmm.
But the bloke with the head, the species with the slit, they come back in the next episode, which is really weird. It's like in
Mysterio, really?
Yeah, it's a slight connection between.
I remember.
Both. Yeah.
The only thing I remember about that episode is Pete's speech at the end, going like,
very great speech.
Everything ends because it has to. Is that speech?
Well, that's after the whole Derulian thing. Yeah, that end scene is. Literally, I was talking to Dan about that episode yesterday, and we were like, yeah, that's literally the only scene, I think.
That's all I remember. We'll probably like it more, I feel. But
can I just say, though, I know I shit on Chibnall Zero a lot. I think Eve of the Daleks is so much better than an episode. There, I said it. I would rather watch Eve of the Daleks over Dr. Mysterio any day of the week.
I really don't remember Dr. Mysterio, but I love Eve of the Daleks. Eve of the Daleks, for me, is like up there. Like, I know it's got problems. The plot, a lot of it doesn't quite make sense.
Well, you're going to be rewatching it soon, hey?
I'm debating rewatching it or not because I've got Flux on Blu-ray.
Oh, yeah, because do you have the...
No, because they're doing a steelbook for the Series 13 specials.
Yeah, well, it's not on Stan.
Yeah, and it's probably
I don't know where you'd watch
not on ABC iView anymore.
No, I don't think so.
So I probably will just watch Flux, but nothing major happens. It's just like the Thasman stuff, which I remember. Yeah, but I look forward. Hopefully, I'll rewatch it at like New Year's this year because the steelbook should be out by then. Because I really love Eve of the Daleks. It's just fun. It's just fucking fun.
I have such good memories of it. Like, honestly, I love it.
I love it. It's really cool. Really good stuff. Any last thoughts from me for this episode is just, it's like a fitting but also subtle end to the Moffat era. Like, if it was, like, it's not the end of the Moffat era, but if it was, I like that he kind of was like, he didn't make it all about him, but he did sort of, it's the end of River and that kind of thing. He tied it all back to the start of his era, which I appreciated. But then we did get Series 10 and then a Christmas special, which we weren't supposed to get. But that's a whole nother story for far down the line next year.
Right. Sorry, I was a bit confused, but I get you now.
Very Christmassy title sequence I really liked. And that was Douglas McKinnon's idea from... I read that in a Doctor Who magazine months ago. Douglas McKinnon, the director, it was his idea to make the title sequence.
Douglas McKinnon?
Yeah. It was his idea to make the episode all Christmassy, like the title sequence all Christmassy.
I love that.
So well directed as an episode. I love what Douglas does with the show, and I hope he comes back one day. He's such a good director.
I love the snow comes in as like a fade.
Yeah.
Isn't this Douglas's last episode?
I think it is, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I'll fact check that. But
honestly, I think that opening shot in Trap Street...
In Trap Street 2.0.
It just looks stunning, man.
It does.
Like, it really does. Like, yeah, you know, I think there's a lot of crap in it which I didn't care about, but it really is got some of the most like emotional scenes from Doctor Who personally, I think.
Yeah.
And along with Murray's score, you know, it'd be hard to not have a fucking dry eye in the house, you know. And I do recall even when I was so skeptical, thinking that final scene was
amazing.
It feels like a movie at times, even just the way it's like blocked and stuff, like all the it like that final shot where they're just looking at each other. It's like it's picture perfect, man.
It is. It really is.
There's this beautiful like what would you call this? You're a filmmaker.
An orbit.
There you go.
So they orbit around the characters,
and it looks great. Like it looks great, and like I think it just looks stunning, and it's a treat to the fans. And as someone who, like you said, I think that's my point I was going to make before. I didn't like River Song either for a long time.
Right.
I think that's why I didn't like this episode. But now, as like you said, when rewatching the show, yeah, you know, now I come to appreciate her character so much more. And it's a very beautiful send off for sure. For sure. It
really is. This is Douglas's final episode of Who. He did do Abominable Bride for Sherlock the following year.
You loved that episode.
I did really like that, yeah. But I agree. I watched this episode first thing in the morning. So for me, it was, like I always say, that's like my kind of critical thinking time. So I probably am a little harsher on those episodes I watch first thing in the morning. But I do think if I sat down with a gin or a beer in the evening and watched it, I think I'm balling, mate. I think it's a magical ending. And I also really love what they do with the ending, because they don't show you, you know, obviously we see the ending of River in Silence in the Library and stuff, but they don't show the ending of this final date, you know, and they give you that happy ending, and they set it up before. You've got the Doctor saying, River saying to the Doctor, like, what's your trick? You know, you always wait until the last minute when all hope is lost, and then you do that smile, and then, you know, you have a pine up your sleeve or whatever she says. And then 2 minutes later, the Doctor, she's like,
years?
24. Yeah, 24 years. Yeah. River goes, how many nights on a?
How long's a night?
How long's a night on Beryllium? And the Doctor does that smile that she talked about, and then he says 24 years.
It's kind of hard to have a dry eye when that happens.
It's
seriously.
magical, man.
It's pretty fucking magical.
It really concludes them without actually seeing them doing that final goodbye. You know.
And you know what I really do like about the next episode? Not to get into too much.
Mysterio.
But yeah, I do think you really do feel that conclusion through Pete as well. Because obviously we get the River Song conclusion in the library. And then we get to see Pete. I mean, they mention Beryllium in Silence Library, don't they? They say
they
just
do.
Had
a great...
Oh, because didn't she say 24 years of bliss or something like that?
I don't know if she says that. Maybe she does.
I think she says 24 years of bliss or something like that.
I don't know if she does, but maybe she does.
I think so.
But
I might be wrong. I don't know.
One thing that I remember is that she sees David and she goes, "Oh, you're so young here." And considering, like, because she's been with Matt for most of the time on the show where Matt's really young. And for her to then go and have this one adventure with Pete where he's so old and she spent 24 years with this guy. And then she goes and sees David and she's like, "Oh, you're so young here." Yeah. That's obviously not planned. Like, obviously Moffat didn't know he was going to have Pete.
But he's such a clever writer, man, though. Like,
it all works so well.
He took that, and I can see a lot of people, like I said, like grandma on the couch watching it being like, what's this shit? And I think it's a treat for the fans. And, you know, I've come more and more to appreciate Steven as a writer.
Yeah, big time.
And I really do love him. And I think that you can't... I think people are going to be a bit shocked by my score, but I think keep in mind that I think those scenes are great, but I also think there's a lot of stuff in between that I think is a bit,
especially earlier on in the
bit
episode.
pooey,
riff-raff, yeah,
a bit stanky. I'm like, but I felt like I was on a fucking roller coaster, man. I'm like, this is kind of shit, and then I'm like going down this massive ass,
up and down,
going on a hoop. And
Fuck, I'm emotional.
I'm like tears in the car. I'm like a grown ass man in my bed, nearly crying over a TV show made for kids, like
big time.
So yeah. Anyway, but
anyways, we're gonna move very quickly on.
You haven't done this in a while.
Well, we did it a few weeks ago, but yes, we do it pretty rare these days.
I don't remember that.
Let's pull back the curtain. We did it in Face the Raven. Let's pull back the curtain and talk about behind the scenes.
Takes me back, man.
Behind the scenes is a segment where we peel back the curtain and we have a look at some behind the scenes facts about this episode. There's not an awful lot, and the reason I don't do it that much these days is because there isn't a lot. Once we lost Confidential, behind the scenes
exactly
facts.
Right, yeah.
The
goss stopped.
The goss disappeared a little bit. But there is a few little bits and bobs, and there's one big thing, which is the reason why I did it. So, a few small facts.
Wait on me.
Weirdly, this got a cinema release in the US, which...
No
that's not
way.
the weird part.
No way.
Had a cinema release in the US, also had a cinema release in Russia, Ukraine, Belarus, and Kazakhstan. Kazakhstan.
Let's go, all our Kazakhstan Doctor Who fans. I'd love to meet
Kazakhstan's Doctor Who stands.
Wow, I would love to meet a Kazakhstan Doctor Who fan.
Well, apparently there's enough to ask for a cinema release. Yeah.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting, considering the UK and Australia didn't get one.
That is so crazy.
This is the only time that Alex Kingston's name is in the opening credits for a Doctor Who episode.
Correct.
This is the first, and I'm only saying this because I don't think Alex Kingston looks a day over 40 in this, but this is the first episode where the Doctor and Companion are both over the age of 50.
What?
Yeah.
She's 50 in
Damn,
that.
she's looking good, man.
She doesn't age.
She doesn't age. She's looking strong.
She's over 50.
She looks like she did in Science in the Library, right?
Well, that's good for
8 or 9 years
for chronological order.
That's Moffat was like, you
Moffat's
better
like,
not
"Thank
fucking
God."
age, Alex Kingston.
Wow, she's over 50.
You better be putting on your fucking moisturizers every day.
Moisturize me. She's over 50 in the episode. That's crazy.
Yeah, she's over 50. I don't know her exact age, but she's over 50.
Insane.
According to TARDIS Wiki.
Wow, man.
But the... Oh, dude. Whoa.
Wait, what? Did you...
There is a ghost in this room.
Okay, what the fuck?
That me and Connor were nowhere near my computer, and it just played the behind the scenes sting again.
It's raining outside, which is
should we communicate with the supernatural? Well,
I know you. You're really into that stuff, and it used to terrify me as a kid.
If there's someone in this room played that behind the scenes sting again, press the button you just pressed again, make the sound, or.
Don't do that, because I'll actually get freaked out.
Or kill me. Rip my head off.
Don't do that.
Snap my neck. Please. Okay, there's no ghost. That's probably
just kind of scary.
What?
It just play by itself. It never does that.
I think it was a jump scare. Yeah, that was weird. That was very weird. But hey, look, they've got a chance. There's a chair there. You can spin the chair around if there is a ghost here.
No, but
we've always got to make these chances to connect with the supernatural.
Yeah, I know you used to be into that shit a lot, and it used to fucking terrify me as a kid. I remember getting many sleepless nights over it.
Yeah.
I try not to fuck with that shit.
It didn't snap my neck, so I think we're good. And the chair has not moved.
Well,
so we're
for
good.
now, I mean, it could happen in an hour.
It could. Well, I was going to say I'll wake up and my neck's been snapped, but I won't wake up.
I'll be texting you and you won't reply.
Where's Aiden?
Like, oh God.
Oh God, his neck's been snapped.
Were you holding the sheet?
I have both my hands here.
Okay, I'm saying like for the audience, like could they actually tell you?
That was I don't think they can see the laptop, but I was nowhere near my computer when that happened.
That's weird.
That was sus.
That's happened once before, hasn't it? I saw it went off one time.
I think it has, but like there was a reason why. There's no reason why that should have happened then. That was ghostly.
Is this Ghost trying to us to do this?
What's kind of awkward is I have to then re-edit in the music so everyone heard what happened in in the actual episode. Anyways,
You poor thing.
the main reason we're here is to get my neck snapped by a ghost, but also
I feel... Okay, go on. Now I feel really creeped out.
you feel creeped out.
I just hate this stuff. I just don't like it. I don't like the mess of that shit.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sleeping alone tonight.
oh, mate. The ghosts are coming, mate. The ghosts are coming.
He said it, not me.
Yeah, mate.
I didn't mention any snap necks.
Why, you're scared? You're trying to make sure the ghost doesn't follow you home. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, to clarify, I do not want to be followed home.
Just
It
in
did
case,
start raining.
if there was a
It did
ghost
start
here,
raining, though, when it happened.
if there was a ghost here, I do not follow Connor home.
Follow you. Well, you
Follow
are
him.
home.
I am home.
You're like, this is my home. Welcome.
You can flick my hat off my head, slap me in the face, draw
Stop saying
a
stuff
dick
like,
on my chest.
Stop saying stuff like that, because it's gonna happen. Something's gonna happen, and I
Mate,
won't
if I wake
sleep.
up and there's a scar of a penis on my chest,
Dude, now I'm like looking around that something's gonna fucking move. I'm actually gonna shit
the
myself.
chair's not spun. We're fine.
And if it did, they wouldn't believe it, so they can't see it.
Well, we do a quick pan.
Whilst it's still spinning.
Yeah. All right, we gotta move quick. We are all over the place in terms of scheduling this week, Connor. It's fucked.
We.
Yeah, it's more me actually.
I didn't call a ghost into the house.
All right, Moffat was planning on leaving the show. All right, he sort of said,
I'm done.
He was like, well, he wanted to do 4 seasons, right? He wanted to do an RTD, and then like Smith left early, and he was like, I'll get Pete on, but then obviously he was kind of invested with Pete, so he did a bit more with Pete. Anyways, here's what Stephen Moffat had to say about this episode. I vaguely thought I'd be going last year, he told the magazine, referring to the 2015 series of the show. So, the last scene of Christmas that year, with the Doctor finally making it to Beryllium, which we hear about in the episode just before I took over, was as close as I'll ever get to making any attempt at closure.
Correct. I agree.
Yeah, so he clearly wanted this to be his last one, but we got Series 10, which was meant to be his last, and then we got the Christmas special, which...
Twice upon a time?
Twice forced episode that shouldn't exist.
Twice forced upon a time.
Twice time. Yeah, that's everything for behind the scenes.
Okay. I'll quickly read this.
Oh, you got a poll.
Yeah, if you want to send in the clowns.
Uh-huh.
I'll,
are we doing just tweetings?
What happens to Jodie's ear pierces when she regenerates? That's funny.
Do you have some opinions on
Yeah.
So people have sent in some thoughts?
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. All right, let's do the segment that we've also really not done in a long time. Let's take your guys' thoughts. You can hit us up on Twitter and Instagram at 50Doctor. It's time for Just Insta Tings.
I kind of forgot what it was called.
It's where we send in the clowns to talk to us and tell us their clowny opinions.
Yeah, fair enough. So I said, do you like Husband's River Song?
No.
80% yes.
Okay, good.
20% no.
Okay.
And look, I said multiple opinions. I've only got one. But it's worth
A whole
reading.
segment. Like, is
Well,
it Jacob?
It's from Jacob, and I feel like we haven't
gotta do
read.
it.
We haven't read anything from him for a while.
We haven't heard from
so-
Jacob in a bit. I'm keen to hear what they've got to say.
Wow, this is a hot take.
Oh no.
Okay, ready?
Horrific.
It's
Bad
the
episode.
best Christmas special. Whoa! What the fuck are you doing?
For our audio listeners,
Yeah,
I just threw
this is
myself
why-
off
this
of
is
my
why
chair.
this is why you should listen to the fucking...
And subscribe to the 50% Doctor Who podcast.
It's the best Christmas special. You heard it right.
Whoa!
Fuck me.
Was it as funny the second time?
It's the best Christmas special. Okay, you didn't do it. Thank God. The first half is so much fun with Capal's reaction to the TARDIS, and the second half of the episode gets me every time. The way it was him that helped build the restaurant next to Singing Towers, and him giving her the
Very
sonic
cool.
screwdriver, it's both literally and metaphorically sense in Moffat's goodness.
Breathe.
I love the ending with the order. Sorry, I love the ending with the order the words fade away, saying they lived happily. It just sums up their relationship and something special and a fitting end for River. I'm sorry, Aiden, I'm dyslexic. What can I say?
So am I. I put a tweet about it today.
Did you?
I did. But
What
yeah.
did you say?
Well, I put up a tweet that did very well.
Really?
And it had a typo in it. So now I just seem like a fucking idiot.
Wait, it did well? On what?
On the 50% account. You go home and have a look. We're talking about...
It did really well?
It's a poll. Yeah. But
yeah, the one I said about Josh.
The one you tried to start beefing.
I was trying to start beef. It's just friends hanging
literally,
out on
I'll have
Twitter.
you know, I reread tweets so many times before I post them.
Yeah, me too.
And there is always so many, like, mistakes in them.
I know, it's hard, man.
It's hard, that dyslexic life, man. All right, what we're going to do now is we're going to jump ahead to the future a little bit. In this gap, we're going to add up mine and Connor's scores from all of Series 9. So that's going to be from the Last Christmas all the way up to the Husbands of River Song. So we got 2 Christmas specials included in this one. And we're going to add all of the scores we've given up over the last 8-9 weeks. And we're going to figure out what our average score was for Series 9.
So 10 will be Mysterio to Twice Upon a Time.
10 will be Mysterio to Twice Upon a Time, that's correct. Do you have any guesses of what you think your score will be for Series 9?
I hate to say it, but I always guess in the 6.5 to 7s because I feel like that's always where it goes.
And you're sticking with that this time?
To entertain the audience, I will say 7 because you don't want to be repetitive. You don't want to keep doing the same
one
shtick.
thing that I should know before we do this is what are you going to rate this episode?
That's a good point, actually. That would help, wouldn't it?
It would help.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. Which I think, by the way, I've spoken about me getting really teary sober is a big thing. But I do think that it has just some shit in there which was a bit unnecessary and a bit cringe. And you're so right, by the way, about how the whole villain thing could have been handled so differently and the whole river thing could be handled differently. But, you know, dude, Kingston and Capaldi are a dream together. And it's it's so short and sweet that we only get this with them. And I just think they instantly work together. And it's a beautiful thing. And Peter just brings it, as always. But I feel like in this episode, like, he is just such a delight.
Yeah.
He is just such a delight. Seriously, like, I believed every single line that came out of Kingston and Capaldi's fucking mouth. I think they're fantastic in the episode. And it ends so well, that arc, I think. And yeah,
definitely.
So that's why I think people are going to be surprised when we give it a 7.5 because I feel like it's just not that much of a standout. Like I said, I'm not going to watch it this Christmas. But I still think it's a fucking... I don't want to say banger episode. I want to say it's got banger scenes.
Yeah, I agree. It's a series of banger scenes of an episode.
Banger scenes. You don't really feel like you want to say a banger episode. It's just got banger scenes.
For me, and my score will reflect this, I feel very similar to Hellbent, which Hellbent I was probably a bit kind on. Yeah. And I'd say this probably is better than Hellbent, but I think they're very similar in terms of it's a lot of well-written Moffat dialogue scenes, well-written character scenes, wonderfully directed by Tilley and Hellbent and McKinnon here.
We love McKinnon.
And it's the Doctor and Clara that carry the episode along with the direction and Moffat's dialogue in Hellbent, and in this it's the Doctor and Alex Kingston along with McKinnon's direction and Moffat's writing for dialogue.
Murray's score as well.
Episode. Murray scored is great in both of them.
Yeah,
I think these 2 episodes actually have so much in common in terms of what works and what doesn't. And so I'm going to give it the same score I gave Hellbent, which is 7.5. I think that's only fair.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to hear a magic chime sound effect, and when we come back...
Can we fist pump every time we do the same score?
Okay, 7.5, fist pump. We're starting this... Okay.
Every time we do that, every time we got the same score, we got a fist pump.
Every time we get the same score, we fist bump. We've done 9 seasons. We have 3 seasons left, and you're adding this. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, you know... Okay. We gotta understand there's an audience listening and they need to be entertained. Like, they could turn off any time.
I'm not gonna do this.
They could listen to Who's There.
No, they wouldn't.
No,
you
can't. Wait, you're not gonna do the thing?
No, what I was gonna say is I should, because we're uploading all of the classic episodes of the podcast onto the YouTube channel.
What, edit
every time we give the same score on the classic episodes, we should use the same clip of me and you going...
I mean, you could. And that's the thing, it's like
should be a GIF or something. We should use that often.
Can you do GIFs? Can you make GIFs?
I don't know. Well, hold on, we got to get it right first.
Sorry, I got.
Just gotta punch Connor in a second. Wait, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. I saw you make a GIF once for one of your vlogs.
Oh, I think I did, but it looked gross. I don't know how that works.
You can do it though.
You're just like, do it, Aiden. Make a GIF.
Man. You can do it.
All right, magic chime sound effects. I'm kind of pissed. I'm not gonna lie.
Why are you pissed off at me, man? What have I done
so
this time?
Angry.
What have I done this time?
I don't don't know. No, I just had too much gin tonight, I think, and it's
Wait, is this the show?
we're back. We're live on the podcast.
Too much gin? How many had?
Well, you can never have too much gin, but no, it's not an awful lot. But I think I
Well,
don't know.
some nights it hits you harder.
It tends to hit me harder.
Wait, like all the time, or is that why you drink gin? Or
Yes, I think because I'm relatively new to gin, it's just like, hey, let's get you fucked up, and you won't even notice.
can they see my Blue Moon? I've been drinking Blue Moon tonight, which takes me back to my late teens, early 20s.
Right, that's when you drank it.
I stopped for a while because I just got so sick of it.
Well, it's actually, this will tell you where my, I don't want to say alcoholism, but where my love for alcohol came from, is like the other night, right? The last few weeks I've been making jokes with Dad because I keep stealing his bottle of gin for the night, and I'll drink like a third of it, and then I'll be like, I probably owe you a bottle of gin by now. And he's like, nah, don't worry about it.
Wow, really?
And then
he's just like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Fuck, my parents would kill me.
No, my dad, he's great. And even the other day, he ran out of it because I drank most of the bottle, and like he BWS'd a bottle of gin. Like he got them to deliver a bottle of gin to him. Anyways, the other night I like stole it and just had like a quick few downstairs before I went off to my girlfriend. So I was driving, so I didn't have a lot, but I left it downstairs. And my dad was like, I'm on an alcohol-free week, so he wasn't drinking. So that's why I was like, I can steal the gin. I'll put it back in the morning. He won't even know that I had some, right? And I, the next day, he's like, you motherfucker stole my gin. I was like, oh, your alcohol-free week didn't go well, did it? And he was like, no.
It never does.
Mum got some wine, so I went to find the gin. Wasn't there, so I went downstairs. Wasn't in your bedroom. And I'd like kind of left it in a different room in the house. Not intentionally, it's just where I happened to pour the drink.
Yeah.
And it took him ages to find it. And he was like, you fucking cheeky fuck.
I've been doing better at not drinking weeknights. I had 10 beers last night.
I had 10 beers on a Wednesday night.
Yeah, but I wasn't going to drink tonight.
Yeah.
Kim's sick, so I would have driven to her, but she's ill. So, and I can't get sick because I'm doing my final course at TAFE. And we're meant to have Dylan on, and if it's someone like Dylan, I mean, it's a peace and love. Like, I'm happy to have a few drinks, but I just chose not to tonight. And then Dylan couldn't make it, and then you were like, I can come pick you up. And I was like, all right, you fucking bastard. I was like, I don't have any drinks. And you're like, neither do I. And I'm like, okay, great.
Looks like we're going to the bottle shop.
How can I not?
That's cute. That was good. I've never been to the bottle shop with you. That was a nice experience.
Yeah, we had a good time.
We did.
We had a good time.
We didn't really talk about how we saw each other at the pub properly, but we did. And
I
was very drunk when I saw you.
I was very drunk. I said some things that night that I regret.
You loved a hug.
I did. I was hugging her. I saw, I don't mean it's a rude way, it wasn't just you and the
My friends were there. Yes.
No. Before that, I saw Mitchell.
Oh, right.
And I hugged him.
I've been offended.
Well, no, I just don't want you to think I was being odd. I was just in the hugging mood, you know?
Yeah. It was a big cuddle.
It was, and there was multiple as well.
There was.
They kicked us out in the end. They said they closed pretty early, actually.
Very early. Unnaturally
I
early.
got given a cocktail.
We gave you a cocktail because my friend ordered too many. Yeah.
But I was like, are you sure? Like, you don't want this? And he was like, nah, you can take it. And it was like literally full. And I was like, yeah,
well, he bought a bunch of cocktails and then like
one,
kind of miscounted. And so there was one extra. So that's why it was your lucky day.
I'll take it. And it was great.
Yeah, it was cool. We were at a different pub, me and my friends, which was around the corner from the pub that you were at. And I picked up all my friends and I said, we're going to this pub because I want to see Connor.
You actually said that?
Well, I said that me and Nicole are going to go to this pub now, and then we can come back and see you here, or you guys can come with us.
And they're like, come with.
And they were like, oh, we'll come with. And I was like, cool.
Well, you messaged me when I was at a pub close to Aiden's house, which is not far away from the pub that we were at.
Oh, this is a long...
And you said, are you at so-and-so? And I said, I can be in the next hour.
Yeah.
And
there you go. The rest was history.
Yeah, I awoke with quite the head.
Quite the head.
On me.
I woke up...
it was quite... We had work next day. I know you had the thing, didn't you?
I was filming a wedding the next day, yeah. I felt rough, but the moment I got moving, I was good. A lot of people, the older they get, hangovers get worse. But I feel like straight out of school, I got bad hangovers. But the older I've got, the better I've got at like shaking them.
Mine have gotten better, yeah, definitely.
Mine have gotten so much better. Like now I just get up and I get on with what I'm doing. And within an hour, unless it's like a oofed one, like a big one, I'm fine. I'm cracking. Bob's your uncle.
I'm normally fine. I just normally just like to chill out on the Sunday, maybe, and just like
chilling out, maxing, relaxing.
I got nothing wrong with that. I got no issues of like watching some TV or like catching up on YouTube and stuff. And the mites catch that so badly.
Well, when I smack my bottle of gin on the table,
they really love that.
Not to
be the audio guy. One of my actual pride possessions on For a Laugh was that I was the sound guy, so I took care of all the audio and stuff.
You question why I'm pissed? Look at that pour.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
That's like half a glass of... I'm going to pour some of that back.
Don't be a pussy. You got to drink it. It's going to go everywhere.
No, I'm pro at this.
Oh, God.
That's still a big pour, but that's fine.
See, it went down Aiden's leg. Aiden's doing body shots on himself.
I also just punched my mic, so they're going to pick that up. Connor, it's time to be real. I've been waiting for this all night.
What, cereal be real?
Do you know what be real is?
Be real?
Do you know what be real is?
Of course I do.
Well, you're going to be in my be real. Okay.
Oh, yeah, why?
Do you do be real? Well, you obviously don't know what be real is then.
Oh, I thought you meant be real from like a film set.
No, that's a very different thing.
What the fuck is this?
Be real, it's a social media app. All right.
I don't know if I want to. What is it?
No, you do. It's fine. Don't worry.
What is it? No, but what is it though? What am I? Wait.
Just pose, smile, hold up your beer and do a smile.
Hang on.
I'll tell you about it after. Just we got 2 minutes to do it.
What am I doing? Is it a video?
No, it's a photo. But hold on. Wait, no, we're gonna do it again.
What the fuck is going on?
One more time.
Is this when the front camera and the back?
The front and the back camera take at the same time. It's social media. So basically, what happens?
I was wondering how people did that.
What happens is once a day you get a notification on your phone, and it's like be real. It's time to take your be real. And so once a day, everyone has to take a B-reel at the same time. And you can't see other people's B-reels until you post it. But it's basically meant to be a counter-argument to social media. Because you look at Instagram and Facebook, and everyone's posting their highlight reels. Uh-huh. B-reel is like they'll catch you out. You'll just be at the office at work, and you've got to take a photo without, for girls, without your makeup on and things like that.
Right.
It's sort of meant to be the counter-argument to that. And it's like, just be real. You've got 2 minutes to post it. You can't...
be real.
Yeah. You've got 2 minutes to post it. You so you can't like do yourself up. People can see how many times you've taken the photo.
Oh, really?
It's meant to be like just be honest with how your life actually is.
It's an app.
It's an app, and it's just sort of blowing up at the moment. It's been around for a little bit.
Wait,
but it's just
how many people follow you and like check out your story?
I've just got like 15 at the moment because you just add them individually.
What the fuck? Am I the first person hearing about this?
That was me like 2 weeks ago. So you see, timeline. I've only got one person that's posted one so far.
Who's that?
It's my mate's girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
And so there's mine.
So you can follow your friends.
That's you with the microphone. That's me with the microphone and gin, looking very pissed actually.
I look okay in that.
You look good, man. I think you look hot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Anyway, so Be Real, the new social media app, taking the world by storm.
Real.
Let's get into our final scores. Of this all added up together. I can see Connor inside right now. He's furious because there's a 10-minute segment that I've just told him we're going to cut. Well, and I can see that inside of him right now.
No,
he's
I'm more confused when the last thing we said, is this actually from when you cut the camera to that you just said?
No, we got loads of banter in there. So we got loads of witty banter with the boys.
For the record, I don't know when it ends and begins, so I can't comment on any of it.
We'll just figure it out.
Apparently.
It's before you said that Doctor Who fans don't drink alcohol.
No, I didn't say that.
And then we repeat the entire conversation that we just got into.
I said, I can't remember my point, but it was a joke. And I was like, I said it was a joke, and Aidan was like, you shouldn't say that. And I was like, hey man, it was a joke. Like,
yeah.
We're Doctor Who fans and we drink alcohol.
That's it. And I know many Doctor Who fans who don't. Husbands of River Song. No, we've already spoken about that.
Fuck me.
Okay, what you came here for, folks, is the final score of Series 9 from me and Connor. If you are for some reason still here listening to this podcast, which I think started off with me presenting myself at least, well, and then I have deteriorated into a hot mess.
What happened, Aiden?
Gin.
Gin
Urso. Okay, so this is going to be the average score of all the scores that you and I have given out throughout reviewing Series 9. So that's from Last Christmas to The Husbands of River Song. I've combined your scores and combined my scores and given them an average out of 10.
Okay.
I sounded so drunk saying that. I know that. I'm not as drunk as I just sounded.
I didn't think that.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I'll drive home.
You are home.
Fuck.
I have to catch an Uber.
All right, so
I need a piece so bad.
Connor, you said you reckon you're gonna be around like 6.5.
Yeah. Did I say
You said 6.5 is what you reckon your score.
No, I didn't. I said I normally say 6.5, but now I'm saying 7.
Just making shit up in my head. All right.
No, I did say that.
No, I'm making this up. Is what I'm
okay.
saying.
I've
I've clearly fucked up. I trust you, Connor. I'll respect your statement. Okay, so
trust me to keep the last 10 minutes in.
you get so salty when I cut stuff.
No, it's fine.
Connor,
I am.
Connor, you are salty when I cut stuff. Why are you salty?
No,
I'm editor. No, I'm here to edit.
No. Look, I know you're here to look. I don't always agree with the cuts, but I understand why they happen.
They're very rare, I gotta say as well.
Look, no, but that is the biggest compliment I can give you. I don't always agree with it, but I also completely understand why.
Well, that's why I love producers on my films, because
sometimes you hate them, and
I'm
sometimes
like, why the
them.
fuck?
Yeah.
Give me $1,000 to do this thing, and they're like, no, we need to feed actors, and I'm like, no.
Right, with the food table.
Yeah. Dogs, just fucking.
Do you ever get those Subway platters?
I did that recently for a shoot.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
They were good.
How are the veggie options in it?
They're good. I had a hot mess moment where I ordered them for now instead of in a week's time when we were meant to get them. And I called up the store and said, hey, can you move the order to this day?
You already made
I
them.
don't want them now. And they said, oh, this is our last day of service. We close tomorrow onwards. And I was like, fuck.
What, the store closed?
Yes.
Like,
The
completely.
Subway shop was closed for good as of tomorrow. And I was like, what are the fucking chances? And I said, can you move it to a different store? And they said, we can't because this is like, I own this store and it's technically separate to the other Subways.
What?
And I was like, fuck, dude, this stressed me out.
Wait,
I was dealing...
This is for next week?
No, this is for a film I worked on a couple of months ago. I was the AD on. Connor, you gave Last Christmas an 8. The Magician's Apprentice, The Witches of Familiar, a 7. Under the Lake Before the Flood, an 8.5. The One Who Died, The Girl Who Lived, a 7.75. The Zygon Invasion / the Zygon Inversion, a 7.5. Sleep No More, a 3. Face the Raven, a 9. Heaven Sent, a 10. Hellbent, a 6.
This is
and
gotta
The
be
Husbands
7,
of River Song, a 7.5.
This is the most I've given.
Your
scores.
combined score is 7.4. That's a good score.
That's the biggest I've given anything.
How do you think that reflects how you feel about Series 9?
You know what? I wouldn't say so, but I guess the proof is in the pudding. Like, yeah. What's so funny about that?
It's just a funny saying.
Well, it is. I mean, like, you know,
in the pudding, man.
It's a season full of shit moments that have amazing scenes and episodes such as Heaven Sent, Face the Raven. I'm sure there's another few in there. I can't remember. Probably. I got a brain like a sieve, what can I say?
I think I've seen my score because I did it earlier today, and I think it is generous. I think.
Oh no, we got the same again. We can fist bump.
No, it's not the same again.
Fuck.
I gave Last Christmas an 8, Witches Familiar, Magician's Apprentice a 6, Under the Lake Before the Flood an 8, Girl Who Died, Woman Who Lived a 5.5, Zygon Inversion / Invasion an 8.5, Sleep No More a 1. Face the Raven a 9, Heaven Sent a 10, Hellbent 7.5, Husbands of River Song a 7.5. My final series score is 7.1.
So I got 0.3.
I think you rated it 0.3 higher than me. I think if someone said what would you rate series 9 out of 10, I think I'd say about a 6.5. I think so many of the episodes don't hit the mark properly story-wise, and I think the overarching thing is what in the last 2 episodes we've talked about so much is Peter is amazing, Jenna is amazing, and in this episode, Alex is amazing. Their chemistry is amazing. Really well directed stories throughout the entire series. And Moffat's dialogue writing for characters is great. But then we have so many stories that just aren't great. There's stories that are amazing, like Heaven Sent, Face the Raven. But then there's so many like Sleep No More is so I gave it a 1 out of 10. That's
pretty
great.
crazy though, because I actually generally think if you would have if Sleep No More was a good episode, you probably would have been a similar score to mine. Like, Maybe.
Yeah.
But if I'm not mistaken, and look, I'm not trying to make you check, but like, I think this is the highest score. I don't think we've ever gone over a 7.
No, we've definitely gone over a 7 before.
Have we?
Mate,
We haven't been doing it for a while.
Okay, so it's higher than than Series 8. You might have to do a bit of ramble whilst I do this research, Connor. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, look, I'm thinking seriously. Like, I've been very slack with the show recently because I'm trying to pass my final. Don't look at. It's supposed to be doing this.
I have the answer.
Okay,
I got the answer.
I thought you were being like.
You're not slack.
Been?
Don't beat yourself up.
I have been with the clips.
Oh, you're fine.
No, I have been. I got 2 more clips coming out this week, and I've been a lazy cunt. Sorry, you hate that word.
Series 5, we'll see if I bleep it out, if I can be bothered or not.
Oh, fuck you.
Series 5, 7.7 for me, 7.9 for you.
Okay, so season
That's
5
above a
takes the W.
7. So that's the highest. But I'm going into the RTD era right now, which probably.
But I can't
challenge that.
actually pick right now what my favorite season is.
Series
Like, I
4,
can't.
we both had a final score of 7.4.
Wow.
Which
So, wait, I gave 7.4 to season 9.
yes, so this is.
So I gave the same.
You rate Series 9 the same as Series 4.
Do you know
according
what?
to
I hate
this.
to say it, but I think that's actually pretty accurate.
Series 3, I did
Do I give
7.2.
myself
You
credit
did
for
7.
these scores I given myself?
Series
Yeah,
3,
I do.
you did 7.2. I did 7.2. You did 7.5. Series 2, I did 6.8. You did 7.4, which is the same as this series.
That's
I
season
think
3?
Yep, Series
So
2.
Season 2? Okay,
And I think
2,
that's-
4, and 9.
And I think that's pretty spot on, to be honest.
Yeah,
Series 1, I
actually-
gave a 7.65, and you gave a 7.23 overall.
Do you know what sucks? I know you've gotten to this point in the show like me where I feel like when I give a score, it's like so meaningless these days, and I feel like I'm either too kind or too harsh.
Yeah. Okay, let's wrap the show up because we have been recording for nearly 2 hours here. This has been a very long pod, and we do try and be shorter these days. But look, longest pod in a long time. But hey, it's a
Well, no, I mean 10 minutes is gonna get cut out.
yeah. Okay, so but still will be one of the longest pods in a long time.
I have to keep bringing up the 10.
You do just to make you feel shit.
The Patreon 10 minutes. That
This
will never air.
has been look, last time we're talking about doing the rewatch for a while because we're doing a bit of a segue. End of series 9 officially, so it's a bit of a celebration, and we're on to doing centenary stuff. So that's the reason why this episode is long. We're celebrating nothing. We're celebrating 130 episodes.
So I was thinking next week. I assume we're filming on a Thursday.
Probably, yeah.
What are we doing again?
A good question.
Yeah, when
Dear
you say
viewer.
that, I'll answer. I'll say my next thing because I actually don't know what we're doing. But go on.
Well, we did just talk about it between takes
we?
just then. We did. So next week we are going to be talking about
Oh yeah.
our predictions. Any final thoughts for the centenary
I fucking
special?
forgot. Hey,
It's gonna.
I literally forgot. Sorry.
It's going to be our second chat episode. We did one chat episode a few months ago, and
It went really well, actually.
It went well, and I got a few messages that were really nice about it and seemed to really like that kind of thing.
What I was going to say is, so if we film next Thursday, that means that the day after I graduate. So I thought for the entire episode, I'm going to wear my safety glasses.
That's good. I
They're
respect
They're
it.
like see-through glasses.
And it will also be Connor's birthday special.
Will it be?
I think so.
Yeah, because my birthday will be on the Monday.
Yeah, so that will be our...
Yeah.
It's crazy to think that's the third time we've done a Connor's birthday special on the podcast.
I recall last year filming, I think it was the Snowman review on my actual birthday.
We did.
So filming got fucked up. I think you were doing a shoot or something and we couldn't film in the week and...
We had to film...
I had to get up so early and I was so fucking hungover.
It was...
I literally... And it was super early.
It was like a Saturday morning at like 7 a.m. or something.
It was Sunday morning because I remember I went out for the Saturday.
Right, and so...
My birthday was on the Sunday and I was so hungover. I've been drinking till like fucking 2 a.m.
I think it was Power of 3 because we had Dan on for it, I think.
It was Snowman.
Was it Snowman?
I think it was Snowman.
Okay, yeah.
It was Snowman,
it was us.
And that's when we zoomed. So
we
went in
zoomed at
person.
like 7 or 8 in the morning on a Sunday morning after Connor had been out for his birthday.
Bro, I was literally texting A in the pub being like, we're going to wake up at 8 a.m.
But
film.
aren't you happy that we've not missed a week in 130 episodes?
I'm insanely proud. Like, seriously, I am so fucking proud of the show. I know I said this to you at the pub, and I know you thought that I was drunk, and now I'm drunk now, so it's going to sound fake. But
yeah, you fake bitch.
Wow, you're so horrible. You've inspired me so much as a creator.
No, stop it. Every time you get drunk, you say this shit.
I say it sober.
Okay.
Fuck you. I'm not going to say it now.
Good.
No.
I'm so British, I don't like people giving me compliments.
No. Can you let me fucking speak?
You can... Okay, speak.
I just want to say you inspire me a lot. You help me, and this show helped me really spark my creativity again. Can I not say that?
I appreciate that.
Like,
and I think likewise. I think doing this is good for both of us.
Yeah, I think when we started
Except the alcohol.
show, nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with beer. No, when we started the show, I wasn't creating. Like, I was very against doing the show, and when we did it, and I think that now it's inspired me to. And by the way, this show I'm starting next year, it's in no way replacing this show. I made the goal this year of focusing on this show only, getting used to it and making the clips and stuff, and next year I'll be able to handle both, and it's in no way replacing it. It's an extension of my love of the show. It's an extension of my love as a creator, and that show I'm doing next year wouldn't exist without this show. And I know I said it down the pod, but I'm very grateful that you have always believed in me and supported me and just made me feel like you've always respected me as a creator and someone who cares. And anyway, I do say it sober, by the way. I hope that...
No, you do. I'm not taking that away from you.
I hope that the people know that, and I hope you know that.
That whole 10 minutes is getting cut. No, I appreciate that greatly. And I think I get a lot from this experience with you, and I think seeing you and talking with you every week keeps me sane. I really do, like, I listen to, we take the piss out of it all the time, but I listen to like a lot of different podcasts versus you listening to sort of one that is longer and uploads more regularly and things, right?
I do love H3.
But I listen to like loads. I do so much driving for work, so I every day go through like 3 different podcasts, right? And every time I listen to a podcast, I'm always like learning from them.
Yeah, me too.
And I always hear things. I'm like, fuck, I can't wait to do that when we do our show. And so I've been listening to a few that are a little bit less bantery and are a bit more scheduley, which is probably why I've sort of gravitated towards putting out a schedule.
Well, it does help. It's good that you got, and it helps that you've got shit like. By the way, I really love how you actually wrote down like even like Peter's quote.
Yeah, it just makes things easier.
It saves you from like, I know you did the whole Russell quote on the computer. Not that it makes a difference, but it does look quite nice when you have that.
I think it flows better when we have this stuff. I think it's like the first. This is a different.
What's called a call sheet.
It's kind of a different episode of the pod. Call sheet's a very different thing, but
that's a film term.
That's like saying what time you come to set and things like that.
Yeah.
But which, yeah,
I kind of
same, but
call sheet.
No, it's a run sheet, is what it is.
A run sheet. Excuse me.
But this episode, I think, is very like it started off a current episode of the 50% Doctor Who podcast, and then the back hour, I think, has deteriorated to like series 4, which I don't have a problem with. Maybe hardcore listeners will be like, "Well, I remember when every episode was like this."
Maybe next week will just be that madness the whole way. Well, I'm certainly gonna get drunk next week. It's like you said, it's the birthday app. It's the graduation app. I'm gonna wear my safety glasses the whole time.
Hopefully,
I might wear my boots.
Hopefully, my present for you will be here on presents.
Oh, you're so sweet.
I've got 2 presents in the post for you.
You got
hopefully,
2?
Yeah. I'm very happy with them actually. I'm not going to say anything more, but...
I'm not going to flex at all, but
stop flexing!
You scared me when you said that.
Sorry, there's the ghost that spun the chair.
I want one of those so badly.
I've not got you that. Because I refuse
I know.
I refuse to get you the same present you got me.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Audio listeners, we're talking about the poster behind us of the podcast.
Fuck, you're so good at that, by the way.
What?
You're actually really good at that, because like sometimes when you say that, I'm like, alright, fair enough. When we're filming, and then I'm like, I actually listen to the audio at like work or tape, and I'm like, man, Aiden's good at that shit. Because like, you're right. When you're listening to audio, you don't know what the fuck's going on. Aiden's on it. This is why Aiden's a podcaster. I was gonna say better. No, I'm kidding.
No, we do it together.
But yeah, I love that, and I really do want to get one of the posters.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a wanky thing, but I think we deserve to be a bit wanky when we got nearly 250.
I think we're wanky people.
Yeah, well,
you said 250.
Nearly 250.
No. 150.
Oh, sorry.
That's 120 more.
That's the blue moon talking.
That's this is episode 130 of the podcast. Shall we wrap it there?
So yeah, we've got 20 episodes to 150.
That's crazy. 100 does not feel like that long ago.
I love how Dylan hates it.
hates episode 100. I think that was a great episode.
I loved it.
That's one of my
the
top 5
50%ies.
episodes. I do have a favorite episode of the pod that we've ever recorded, but I'll keep that until
Is it Planet of the Huge?
Planet of the Huge, the worst episode of the podcast.
Episode. You were so out of it. You were like,
Was I?
I don't want to be here. I hate it.
Just get me home.
I thought that you weren't home. You were here. I literally thought that you were like done with the show. You were like, I fucking hate this.
No, I can't remember. I think the internet was the internet bad or something?
It always was. It was just.
I think early series 4 there was a few.
Oh, it was a
I
nightmare.
think I was really busy at the time, and I think
was that no season 6 was COVID time.
We started it in COVID.
COVID was around, but it wasn't attacking Perth because we were sealed off.
We started series 1 in COVID.
Yeah.
So
that's
when this
it
started.
wasn't in COVID for our UK viewers. You need to know we had like literally the mic fucking fixed that up like a bad boy. Literally, what I was saying before is like one of my actual favorite roles on my old podcast was I was an audio guy and I dealt with the sound bites and the mics and stuff. And that Aiden admitted to me before we started filming that he hated the sound bites. So he hates my work. So great. Thank you. What a lovely guy. I don't think I spat it too much.
Thank you for listening to the 50% Doctor Who podcast.
He's running from it, folks.
This has been a wild episode.
I need a piece so bad.
I hope you still got something fun and enjoyable out of it, and you'll tune in next week where we probably won't get this piss next week. I can imagine this is probably
I'm getting this piss next week.
Oh, it's your birthday. Maybe.
It's my birthday and I'm graduating. Do you expect me not to get that entire weekend? I'm going to be like gone.
You can understand camera battery has just died. That's not great.
You're fucking kidding me.
Give me a second. All right, we're back, and we're definitely going to wrap things up here. Thank you so much for listening. I think we were talking about something, but we'll leave that for now. Oh, last thing I was going to say.
The camera died.
The camera died. Last thing I was going to say was that you can tell it's a drunk episode if the episode goes over like an hour and 15 minutes. Thank you so much for listening and watching. If you made it this far, I very much appreciate you, and I appreciate you either way.
So, I'm going to put up a poll on Instagram when this episode comes out. Mm-hmm. Maybe a couple of days after it comes out to let us know if you actually kind of liked what we just did. I'm sure people did.
Okay. Yeah, interesting.
I think people did.
I'm keen to know the answer.
And I had something else to say, but I forgot.
Well, you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram to interact with those polls at 50Doctor. Subscribe so you can see our lovely faces on the 50% Doctor Who podcast YouTube channel, along with little clips if you don't want to see our faces for a full 2 hours, because I'm sure that is monstrous. And no, that's it. That's it. I'm used to having a guest on. We've had lots of guests on recently, so I'm used to plugging them at the end.
We're so famous, bro, honestly.
Oh my god, you're such a twat.
I'm kidding. You know,
it's a joke.
It's the joke.
It's a joke. That's the thing. That's the bit.
Okay. You really do put yourself in the you really do like I like how you are the audience per se.
This is my producer's hat.
Yeah, you got the producer's hat.
I got the producer's hat on 24/7.
You know, I'm like, I love the audience, but I think the audience get us.
But they can fuck off.
I love the audience. I'm so happy for them. But if they're actually going to get annoyed by a little joke like that, it's like, come on, like. Anyway, you won't hear that 10 minutes, which was, by the way, glorious, great, respectful.
Well, the thing is, as well, with that 10 minutes that we are going to cut out, is because it's full of me going, oh, you probably shouldn't have said that. And you'll go, no, it's fine. And I'll be like, yeah, okay, it's fine. And it's just full of me being like, no, don't say that, Connor. And then you say something even worse.
I would be interested for you to keep it and maybe send it to me personally. And I'll rewatch it and I will message you back and say if I crossed the line. Yeah, of course you're not.
I'm just going to cut it out. I can't be fucked. Thanks for listening, watching, and we'll see you next week.
Honestly. You can't even fucking send me 10 minutes or something.
Well, because I edit it quickly. Well, not quickly. I spend time on it, but I just quickly get it done, and off we go. Next week, we're talking about our centenary theories. Last thoughts before we go into the centenary special. Maybe we'll have a trailer. Maybe we won't. I've been Aiden.
I've been Connor.
And I could easily keep talking for another hour.
I got drunk off a 6-pack, which is really weird. I drank 10 beers last night, and I feel more scent right now than I did.
I had, only like, what's that, a sixth?
Well,
a sixth of a bottle of gin, maybe a little bit more, and I'm pretty scent, yeah.
Well, we'll do the Patreon exclusive after show.
One day.
Next year.
Next year. We'll
starting a Patreon next year.
That's it. I've got to cut all this.
Why?
I'm not going to cut it. That's the joke. Because I always cut when we talk about the future.
You know what? I'm just not going to say anything because I can't say anything.
Start singing the song. Come on, buddy.
Can't say anything. No, you sing.
Come on, buddy.
This is the third.
Because you can't say it. Because I'll cut it.
Say it. Go on, you do it.
I'm just too meek, because I'll cut everything you say.
Go on.
A 1, a 2, a skiddly diddly do. It's Aiden's and only my podcast. Because I cut everything Connor says too. I cut everything Connor says too. It's all about me, all about me, all about me, me. Aiden's 50% Doctor Who podcast.
It's 25% now, surely. If it's just you.
It's 100%. You were the detriment, so you took away 50% of it. So now it's the 100%.
Wait, so I took away 50% and now you got 100?
I care about the audience, and I know that the audience probably sometimes doesn't like it when we talk about the Fremantle Dockers, our AFL footy club. They don't like it when we talk about fucking Star Wars or about the Batman.
Do you know what's so funny?
What?
Like, I love how you cut that shit out and you fucking talk about AFL for 30 minutes.
I cut a massive bit
still
of
put
the
it
AFL.
in. And then you fucking cut out.
Well, I'm still keeping in part of you being a twat. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you next week, and we will be a little bit more sober until we get drunk. Goodbye.
No.
So it's Connor's.
I'm graduating. It's my birthday. I'm not gonna be sober.
You know what I'm gonna do?
It'd be rude to be sober.
I'll mute Connor's mic for the whole episode, and it'll be a lot better.
I muted my mic.
Have you muted it?
I have muted it.
I can see that. There's no audio coming through on the recorder right now. It is just me. This is the perfect podcast. It is just me. Connor, we've been recording for 2 hours and 15 minutes. Let's stop this fucker right now.
2 hours. Sorry. 2 hours and 5 minutes.
Stop. Don't. I'm going to mute your microphone again. And then there we go. And that's it.
2 hours and 5 minutes.
Dude, you see that? 2 hours and 13 minutes right there. You bastard. You basket case.
2 hours and 3 minutes.
Oh, because we cut 10 minutes.
Yeah, that's the
You're
joke.
such a twat.
That's the joke.
You're such a twat.
That's the